Let's name 3 49ers who will do better this season than they did last season. Guys whose stock is up.
Okay. The quarterback, Brock Purdy. I really think this kid, for me, he's a kid, is coming into his own. He has a strange confidence that we wouldn't imagine someone like him would have. He's really precise. I love to watch. I love his work. I think he's going to be even better. And remember, in the Super Bowl, a lot of people were flaming out. He never did. He kept his cool.
He did.
He has a quarterback's mentality, a quarterback's way of behaving. I really like him. I would call him cool. Steve Young was hot. I would call him cool. And I admire that. So I think he's going to have a better season. What do you think about him, Iggy?
I like that. I feel like the Niners or Kyle Shanahan treated him like a game manager last year in the sense that they were dead last in the league in pass attempts. And I think Purdy flourished in that role and showed that he can do much more. This year, they don't need to treat him like he's ancillary in the offense. The offense can go through him. They can win games where he throws the ball 40, 45, 50 times if they need to. They don't have to wear down Christian McCaffrey in October to get to the playoffs. So I think maybe this is the year where Purdy becomes more of a focal point in the offense and shows that he can do that too.
Do you think Kyle will allow him to be more of a focal point?
That's a good question.
We don't know.
They're going to pay him $65 million a year. They should probably see if he can do that, be that, because he has to be that if he's making that much money.
Are you saying $65 million a year?
Well, right now the going rate is $55 million a year, but the cap goes up 13-ish% every year, and the market goes up. So they could have to pay him they could have to pay him a whole lot of money next year. 65. Anyway.
Okay, you name a player you think will do better.
Deebo Samuel.
No question. Say why.
Deebo Samuel didn't have a bad year last year. I think he had 12 touchdowns, but he really fell behind Brandon Ayuk. He's clearly the number 2 receiver on the team. And when he was given an opportunity to take over the Super Bowl, he failed and kind of got embarrassed, and his profile is down. So while Ayuk is trying to cash in on his cachet, Deebo showed up to mandatory minicamp and OTAs and was practicing. All of a sudden, I think he figures out that Ayuk's trying to push him off the team, or it's only one of them gets to stay. And I think he wants to stay. And he's in shape. He's in practice. He's mentoring the young wide receivers. They're working out together at like Arizona or something all offseason. He seems highly motivated. And when he's the issue with Deebo is he's not always highly motivated. Well, he seems highly motivated right now. He's a great player when he's highly motivated. I think he's going to have a hell of a year.
I happen to agree with that. And there is nothing more exciting in football than getting him the ball with a blocker or so in front of him and watching him bust down the field and seeing defensive backs and linebackers sort of avoid him.
Yes. I've never seen anything like it. And people can say he's not like a real wide receiver or whatever, but who cares? When the Niners are at the 15-yard line and they just hand the ball to him on a sweep or a reverse, chances are it's a touchdown. There's no other player like that in the NFL.
Right.
Yeah.
He is also so exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not a complainer. He asked for a trade that one time. He didn't make a whole hour-long podcast about his grievances and his slights, and he seems really happy to be on the team.
And he actually speaks to you sometimes, doesn't he?
Sometimes.
Did he want to hit you in the head with a basketball?
He did. And I take that as something we can work with.
Okay. What?
We should name a third person. I got a name if you don't.
You go.
Diamador Lenore.
I love it.
The corner. The starter. He's 24. He's been starting the last year and a half or so, and he's improved a whole lot. Last year, some stats. He gave up no touchdown catches last year. That's a good start. He also broke up 10 passes and intercepted 3. while playing in the slot and outside. That was pretty good. If he continues to improve this year, he could be a Pro Bowler. He could be someone who makes a lot of money, and he seems like the kind of. I mean, he's 24. He's got a contract year. I think he's going to kick ass this year. He's that kind of guy.
Iggy, do you know him at all?
Yes,
Tell
absolutely.
me what he's like.
He's very down to earth. He was a 5th-round pick. Usually, players like that are down to earth, and he was always available at his locker the first few years. The last couple of years, he's been pretty good, and he's still available. But he's funny. Like on the field, he's violent. He's gotten 15-yard penalties for like punching people. He's like got a little Napoleon complex on the field, which is cool. But in the locker room, he's the most. He's a DB. You know, you never would know it that they're like that. He's so nice, and he says your name, and he's available, and he almost seems like quiet and shy, but he's not at all. I love DBs. He's got big time Jimmy Ward potential.
DBs have two personalities.
Yes.
On the field and off. Off the field, they're the most gentle people in the world. Just don't meet them on the field.
Because they have to really prove their violence and toughness. It's not like they walk around 6'7" and everyone assumes it. It's like, no, I'm 5'10". I weigh 195 pounds, and I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I'll hit you so hard. That's Diamador Lenore. But he's like, hey, just the most aw shucks guy in the locker room.
Does he know your name, Iggy?
Yes. Absolutely.
You know, Iggy, I have a feeling everybody in that locker room knows your name, even the ones who hate you.
Yeah, I think so. But I think Lenore's cool because I don't know if he likes me, but I've never really criticized him. In fact, I've praised him a lot. So I think he's kind of amused by me. That's my guess. Not that he would come on the show with me anytime soon.
Iggy, I don't want you to have the players on your show. I don't want you to be indebted to them in any way. I want you to have a distance so you can be critical if you need to be. I
Right.
never got close with players, ever.
No.
Because it would compromise what I was trying to do and what my job was. I didn't want to be friends. I have friends. I have friends who I'm probably more interested in than athletes. I have more in common with them. So I'd only generally be friends with an athlete to say, oh, I'm friends with so-and-so. It would be an ego thing. I don't have that. So you don't
Or
need to
if
be
I were to
friends.
like beg a player to come on my show while he's on the team, I could end up being impartial to that player. Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meaning partial to that player.
Right. Like I
Yeah.
almost had a show last season with Ray McLeod, and he nixed it at the very last minute, which ended up being great because he fumbled in the Super Bowl. And if I had this whole relationship with him, I would have had to make excuses, but I didn't. So I could say that he was a big reason they lost that Super Bowl, and it's a good thing they got rid of him.
Yeah. I don't want you to have any connection with the players except journalist to player. No other involvement. And I never did.
No,